Hi there. I hope you're well. I am well. Been a rough week for us. Having a sick child is not very easy on the child and even the caregiver. But we are pushing through. He's feeling better. Today, I want us to talk about asking for help. Of course, I have been in that situation this whole week, and it does not help the situation, the fact that my husband has been away for the whole week. And so it's just been me and the kids, and of course, I have a nanny. And so I have had to be bold enough to ask for help. I am that type of person who would try and do everything and be self-sufficient, be independent. I've got this. I can feed both kids. I can put both of them to sleep. I can, still keep a neat house, but it can be very difficult, and eventually it can burn you out, and you can really be drained by the end of the day. And so again, I have had to be very bold and just tell myself, ask for help, ask for help. And so I have been doing that this week, and my nanny has really been helpful. But just to view the topic at a wide angle, not limiting it to this week, as a mom and as a wife, I think there's usually a lot that is expected from you. Of course, there are those duties. Let me not call them duties, scratch that. There are those responsibilities you have towards your husband. There are those responsibilities you have as a mother. And having a personality that does not easily ask for help can weigh everything down. The fact that you have a lot on your plate and you do not know how to ask for help, or you do not want to ask for help, can really weigh you down a whole lot more. And so, and sometimes it's usually not necessarily that you don't want help, it's that you're afraid of asking for help and that you will appear weak, or maybe you expect the other person to tell themselves, or rather to realize that you're overwhelmed. For example, my husband, like, babe, I can't wash both kids. Can you tell yourself to pick one of them and wash them? Or, babe, I'm cooking. AK needs a diaper change. Could you please do that for me? You understand? So sometimes it's not that we don't want help, it's that we want the people around us to notice and realize that, yes, let me step in and help my wife or my friend, or whoever that person is. And so it's not a very good trait, because um I'm saying it's not a good trait, but I wish people had powers. I wish people had powers to tell that someone is overwhelmed and just step in and help, especially for people like us who don't know how to ask for that. But yeah, I don't think it's a good trait. I don't think you should suffer in silence. I don't think you should burn out in silence. I don't think you should carry the weight of the world on your shoulders in silence. If you have people around, if you have a community, you have friends who are super willing and they have proven before that they're super willing to help, please take the bold step and just ask them to help you. I remember a season in my life, not very long ago, when I actually had my current 11-month, almost 11-month old, sometime back in August. Um, for the first time, I had severe, okay, not severe, I'm not sure, but I had postpartum depression. And so, well, I realized it was postpartum depression afterwards, I think, after I got out of it. But because this was my second born, my third pregnancy, yeah, I'm hesitating because I have two boys, but this was my third pregnancy. That's a story for another day. Because this is our second child, living second child. I had my first child to compare to my second. This is becoming so tricky. How do I say? So I had Buba and I have AK. Buba was born during COVID. And of course, that time with all the lockdown, like there was a lot of time. Like me and my husband were both at home. So both of us were kind of hands-on, very hands-on. Mostly my husband, because I had to go back to work. Because I was in the what you call essential services. So for me, I was allowed to go out and be up and about. Anyway, so my husband was like really present with Buba. and I saw him bathing, changing diapers, waking up in the middle of the night, and helping. Like, it was so nice. It was so nice. And then come my Aaron, my AK. This time round, my husband does 8 to 5, and for me, of course, I'm on maternity leave, so it felt as if a lot was being left for me to do. It felt as if my husband had taken a back seat and said, I have to wake up in the morning. I can't wake up in the middle of the night. Or like it just felt different because I was comparing the season with my firstborn and now with Aaron, and it looked different. Like, where's the husband who used to bathe the kid? Where's my husband who used to change diapers? Like, and I'm not saying he hasn't changed a couple of diapers. He has changed a couple of diapers, not as many as he did with Booba, but it's not the same. The point is that it's not the same. And so I think for a season, for a time there, I really held a lot of resentment in my heart because there's an expectation I had. I had already seen him as a father to Booba, and there's an expectation of that he would be the same with AK. Forgetting that the times are different. Booba was born during a different time, different circumstances, different dynamics in our family. Things are different now. And so my husband wasn't able to be be present the way I wanted him, or rather the way I thought I needed him to be during that season. And so I got over it. Like, eventually I understood, but I'm pausing because I'm trying to think whether I eventually understood. But the moral of the story is, when I got around to share with him how I felt and how disappointed I was, or those expectations that were not met, he told me, "Why didn't you ask me? Why didn't you ask me to help you? Why were you overwhelmed in silence? Like, why didn't you tell me, babe, why are you not behaving the way you used to behave with Booba?" But I mean that goes really to tell you that sometimes they really want to just be told, "Help me out." It might not necessarily be the best way to go about it. You would expect your spouse to know, or to realize when you need help, but sometimes it doesn't happen like that. Reality on the ground is that sometimes they really need to be told and to be directed and to be told, "Babe, I've managed to do this and that. I am tired. I need to catch a nap for 1 hour. Do you mind holding fort?" And honestly, if you ask them, they will be willing to help. And so that's just one of the many stories I can share that are relevant to this topic of discussion today, is that as much as possible, just ask for help. You'd be surprised how many people are around you who are willing to help. You'd be surprised how many friends are just waiting for that text or that call. Until they're in a position to read your mind, or rather until they're in a position to sense that you need help, keep texting, keep calling. Do not die in silence. Do not carry the weight of the world on your shoulders in silence. If you need help, it is okay to ask for help. It is not a show of weakness. It's actually a show of humility. If you don't ask for help, there's a bit of pride there, thinking that you can handle everything. But in the actual sense, God did not intend it for you to do everything on your own. That's why He has blessed people around you to help. Loyal friends, willing friends, a supportive spouse. So make use of those resources that God has placed around you. In humility, just ask for help. So I pray that this encourages you, or rather goes to remind you that you do not have to walk alone. You do not have to do everything by yourself. You do not have to die and be depressed because your husband can't figure out that you need help. Ask him for help. He's your friend. I'm sure if you're open and vulnerable enough to say that, "I am overwhelmed and tired, babe, please step in," I am sure he'll be able to do that. And so pick up your phone, text the person, the people around you, and ask for help. Thank you.